Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk. Back again with you guys for another episode of what is the Arsenal News Show. Joining you every morning at 8 a.m. UK time. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, as always, for making this a part of your morning routines. We kick off today, as always, by jumping into the chat box and saying good morning to people joining us. Matt G, good morning to you, to Rich, to Blackshine, Peony Ween, Steve, Paul, Blackshine, Olu, Stevie, Red Star, Marcus. Hope you're doing good and well, guys. Alex, Anthony, Stephen Harrison, Rancid Pumpkin, Ray, Odirile, Nav, Joe, Chris, and plenty more of you as well joining us too. Thank you so much for making this a place where you feel as though you're comfortable to join us, especially on a Saturday in the international break. Arguably the most committed among you joining us in this particular show. Saturdays are always a challenge for you to jump up at 8 a.m. and sit in a chat box, but to do it also during the international break, that takes a special level of dedication. So thank you, everybody that has indeed joined us. And I hope that it's been worth it to see a little bit of where the investment that you guys help the channel brings goes to. Brand new addition to the background of the show as well, which I'm hoping that you're enjoying as well. Leave your feedback down below. Let's also welcome a brand new member, Aaron Knowles. Thank you so much for continuing to help support the channel. As I say, people like Aaron, the support they bring to the channel helps us to upgrade things about the show, such as what you can see behind us. I can see, though, a lot of white space still here that we need to sort out. So there's definitely chances for more things to be invested in to improve the background of the channel. Anyway, for those listening on audio platforms, you'll have to hop over to YouTube to see what I'm talking about. Let's get on with today's stories, though. First of all, we kick off with Leandro Trossard starting in Belgium's 3-0 win yesterday over Sweden. He started in a front three alongside Lukaku and Luca Bacchio, also playing in front of the likes of Yannick Ferreira, Carrasco, Anana and Kevin De Bruyne. In what is, of course, a new era for Belgium. Roberto Martinez no longer there after their World Cup disappointment. He's now the manager of Portugal. But they ran out 3-0 winners, Romelu Lukaku scoring a hat-trick. Trossard didn't get an assist during the game, but of course, with his continuation and improving at Arsenal, it's likely that he's going to get plenty more minutes now playing for I think they're called the Red Devils, same as Manchester United, I'm pretty sure. So, yes, playing for the Red Devils indeed. Moving forwards and continue with the international theme, Jakub Kiwior started in Poland's 3-1 defeat to the Czech Republic, playing in the left centre-back role. It seems, though, that despite the fact that he's not playing and getting those regular minutes for Arsenal, he's still very much seen as the starting left-sided centre-back for Poland, which for now, at least, he will be encouraged by, knowing that obviously you don't have to play every single week in, week out for your club, because you're still good enough to be the starting option on the left side of the defence for your country. However, Pavel in the chat box, who clearly watched the game, suggesting here he was not looking too good. It seems his lack of regular football may have been an impact on what was a disappointing performance, it seems. Now, Mesut Ozil has broken his silence regarding Arsenal. Obviously, he retired from football the other day, and we broke that and discussed that the other day as well. He spoke about the fact that he wishes the best to Arsenal fans, who have always been very supportive of me. I would be happy for them if they could celebrate the Premier League title. They deserve it. That's according to Marca in a conversation that they've clearly had as well. Very interesting indeed. Obviously, we discussed Ozil at length. I also watched Harry Symeou's show talking all about Ozil. Certainly worth a watch if you haven't given that your attention already as well. Now, Arsenal's game against Newcastle has been rearranged. The Premier League game that was due to take place on Saturday has now been moved to Sunday, May 7th, and will kick off at 4:30 p.m. It was initially, as I say, meant to be played on the Saturday. However, because of TV scheduling and Sky Sports having the rights for the game, it has been moved to the Sunday. This is... It's an interesting... Have I said Newcastle versus Newcastle? I have indeed. Somehow Newcastle are playing themselves. Newcastle versus Arsenal being rearranged for the game. Can't even spell that today this morning. But yes, we are going to have to travel up for a Sunday fixture. Is this bad? Is this a frustrating change? In the moment, I was like, well, it's Sunday, and if I'm going to get up to Newcastle, it's a long, long way on the train. It's going to be busy, and coming back as well. And you're thinking, well, 6:30, the game finishes. You've got to get back from Newcastle at 6:30 p.m. I'm going to be around a little bit longer, probably closer to 8:30 p.m., then get back to London. It's going to be very difficult. It would be better if it was a Saturday, I think, for supporters, of course, because it would give them the Sunday to get back for work on Monday. But yeah, it's probably a time that works out okay. I think 2 o'clock in the afternoon would have been a lot better, would have been a lot more helpful for supporters. But 4:30 p.m. on the Sunday, it is a game that I know a lot of people are concerned about, a little bit frustrated about. But certainly a game that we've got all of the kind of momentum, and we've got the motivation, of course, after what happened last season, to get revenge on how they ended our Champions League hopes. We can now try and end their own Champions League hopes and push forward with our title ambitions. Now, Zinchenko has spoken to the media. He did a really good interview with Dan Matthews from the Mail, if you've not given the opportunity yet to read it. But in that discussion, he talked specifically about his Ukrainian teammate, Mykhailo Mudryk, who, of course, did not join Arsenal and instead joined Chelsea. He said and revealed what he spoke to about. He said, I told him, it's gone already. It doesn't matter what you wanted, what the other guys wanted. Now you're a Chelsea player. You signed a long-term contract and you have only one option, only one way, direct and forward. He continues by saying, unfortunately, he didn't become an Arsenal player as I wanted personally, but it's life. Interesting. The revelation, I say revelation, I don't think it's too much of a revelation at all that Mykhailo Mudryk wanted to move to Arsenal over Chelsea. I think it was very obvious from his behaviour on social media platforms how much he wanted the move to Arsenal over a move to Chelsea. However, very interesting indeed, Zinchenko coming out and revealing that information. But he's right, he has to focus, he has to move on. He's now a Chelsea player and he has to do his business there. We'll see what happens. But I think we all know that had he have maybe waited out until the summer, it could have been a better choice to move to Arsenal for his long-term future. But who knows? Maybe we'll be very much proven wrong. Now, our headline story of the day, according to Mark Owen in The Sun, Arsenal are willing to allow as many as 7 players to leave in the summer, including Nicola Pepe. The other 6 players named in the article are Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Sambi Lokonga, Nuno Tavares, Cedric Soares, Alex Runarsson, and Pablo Mari. Now, what the article doesn't include, but the thing that we do, of course, know, is that in the case of Pablo Mari, Arsenal have inserted a contract clause into that deal, which means that if Monza, who are the Italian side that Mari has gone to, if they remain in Serie A, it means that Mari will permanently move to the Italian side for a fee. At the moment, Monza currently sit in 13th place and as many as 15 points above the relegation zone. So very much looking forward to seeing that. Oh, we've got another error on the slides. Pepe looking to leave. That'll do. There we go. Lovely stuff. Thank you for everybody pointing out my mistakes in the chat box. It is appreciated for the person who wakes up at 6:30 a.m. There's always going to be errors. It's part and parcel of what this channel is about. It's making mistakes and rectifying them and moving forwards. But yes, Nicola Pepe, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Sambi Lokonga, Pablo Mari, Alex Runarsson, Cedric Soares, all Alex, of course, are at risk. Is it a risk? Nuno Tavares being the other of leaving. I don't think it's a risk to Arsenal. I think ultimately Arsenal have a great opportunity to make plenty of money in small amounts. I mean, if we went through all of those players, this is just my opinion, of course. Nicola Pepe, I think, would be lucky to get about 10 million for. Ainsley Maitland-Niles would be lucky to get a few million quid for. Sambi Lokonga, we should be looking to get a decent figure, between 15 and 20 million pounds. We should be looking to try and get for Sambi Lokonga. Nuno Tavares, I'd take 15 million off you right now if you offered it to me. Pablo Mari, around 5 to 10, I think, is the contract clause in his Monza loan deal. Cedric, I don't think we're going to get much at all, if anything, for him. And Alex Runarsson, very similar as well. We'll be lucky to get anything, if at all, for him too. So Arsenal will have a big job on their hands in the summer, moving players on. There's also suggestions the likes of Folarin Balogun, Rob Holding, Kieran Tierney could all be moving on from the club as well. So let's see how indeed the summer pans out. But it's going to be very busy indeed for Edu, sporting director, and his team of recruitment and sales specialists. So let me tell you, of course, about the prize that continues to be on hand, UK only, of course. Do not forget that is our signed Arsene Wenger shirt competition. There are 113 tickets sold, so 86 remaining. 3 days, 13 hours left of this competition at the time of recording. And you can also get your hands on a signed Freddie Ljungberg Arsenal shirt, a Patrick Vieira signed and custom framed Arsenal montage, and a Jens Lehmann signed and framed Arsenal photo montage, as well as plenty of football prizes. Site credit. So don't miss out on your chance to win this. I love seeing our listeners win these prizes and sending in their pictures of their winnings. So make sure if you do get your hands on any of the football prizes, fantastic stuff, that you get involved and send your pictures across. Okay, let's move to part 2 then in your questions right after this. Of course, you can also get your hands on our TGT non-profit merch, where you can sport this beautiful The Gooner Talk logo in all its glory on either one of the two hats you can see in front of you, the home hat with the red branding, or the grey away kit as well. I'm going to put this out there now, I have suggested to our manufacturers, our very kind manufacturers, or our local business in North London that we support, that we may want to look at producing a gold/bronze cap with, of course, the logo matching that of the Arsenal away kit for this season. I've just put the suggestion in. I don't know if it's something, I'm not going to make any promises, but I've made the call, if you like. I've made the ask, the suggestion that maybe a special limited edition TGT gold hat to match that of the Arsenal away kit is something that we should be looking to do as well. All of the proceeds, of course, will be going to the local business that we support, plus Macmillan Cancer Support and the Arsenal Foundation as well. Steve ordered his yesterday. Fantastic stuff, Steve. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy your product. I hope seeing plenty of people sending their pictures in of them wearing their TGT hats as well. It's very much appreciated. Getting a few on Twitter, which is fantastic to see as well. Okay, let's jump into the chat then and tackle some of your questions. We start off with Peony Ween says, I'm in the zone of trying to work out the perfect Arsenal tattoo. So would you be against or upset if I incorporated the TGT canon into it? If not, I'm getting I love Matt G. I mean, I'd absolutely be up for saying I love Matt G. I think you should go for that, Peony Ween, personally. But if you want to get the TGT logo, it's up to you, mate. I'm not going to stop you. I mean, all more power to you, mate. All more power to you indeed. As long as it's not my face, that's fine. You know, no one needs that on them. It's bad enough I have to wear this thing, but you certainly don't need to tattoo it onto you. Vishal says, when did the players return to training after their internationals? Who's the last to arrive? Good question. Don't know off the top of my head who the last to arrive is, but certainly know that it'll be the start of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday time, we'll start seeing players return to the club. Don't know if a club is going to be doing a behind closed doors friendly. We'll have to wait and see. For the players that, of course, stayed behind and remain, and there's plenty of them. All the Brazilian lads, of course, have stayed behind. Ben White, Rob Holding. Goalkeepers wise, I don't know if Karl Hein got called up for Estonia. Let me have a quick look on Estonia's fixtures. They played on Thursday against Hungary, and in goal was Karl Hein. Yeah, so he indeed did play for Estonia. So I don't know. Hilson, Grashik are the ones that are left, because we've sent a couple of them. Ejaheri, Okonkwo, they've all gone out on loan. So we've only got some youth keepers available for us to use. Hilson, I imagine, will be the one that goes in goal. He's been included in the Europa League squads on some occasions. So, yes, I imagine that will be the case. But other than that, you've got, as I say, so it'll probably be Hilson, Ben White, Rob Holding. That's actually given me an idea. Let me just write that down. There we go. Lovely stuff. Need to be thinking about work. Always thinking about work. But yes, that'll be what? Hilson, White, Holding, Gabriel. Tierney, I think, has been called up to the internationals. Scotland fixtures. Surely he's been called up. I mean, who else? I know they got Robertson, but surely he's been called up. Let's have a quick check. They played on... When do they play? Do they play today? Okay, they played today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Interesting. Maybe we'll be able to chuck that on whilst I'm working today. Then what, in midfield, you've got Jorginho and Partey have both gone. So we're struggling for midfielders. I suppose it would be Matt Smith, although they under-21s played today. So it depends on whether it'd be fit. It's tricky putting together a team of the players that are here. I feel like I'm forgetting people, though, although El Neni at the moment is, of course, injured. Teams, midfielders, who am I forgetting? Vieira, I think, is probably playing with the youth side. Granit Xhaka's away. Smith Rowe's with the under-21s. I think we're going to have to use a fair few youth players and the looks of things as well at this moment in time. Jesus, Martinelli, Nelson is still around. So imagine that would be the front three that would play. But yes, very interesting indeed who's going to be there. He saved a penalty, apparently, Carl Hines. So fair play. Certainly, again, he's a bit of a penalty specialist, isn't he? I remember the mid-season break that we had against, was it Lyon, where he pulled off a couple of saves? It was fantastic in that game. Fair play. Let's go to Anne says, hi, Tom. Enjoying your work this season. Thanks, mate. I have a sneaking suspicion that the team of the season will be underrepresented from an Arsenal point of view. What Arsenal players should be in it? Good question. I mean, Aaron Ramsdale is going to be going up against a lot of very decent goalkeepers this season. I think Nick Pope's probably going to get a good shout. He's got the same amount of clean sheets as Aaron Ramsdale, but I think Ramsdale should certainly be up there. Right back is going to be between Kieran Tierney and Ben White. I don't think Man City's right back has got much of a shout this season. I'm trying to think of any other right backs in the league. I think it's probably between Trippier and White. Right-sided centre-back, Saliba, Akanji, Romero. Who else? Thiago Silva. Has he had a good season? Probably not. No. So, I mean, yeah, again, Saliba's got to be up there. Gabriel, surely, is going to be in the team this season. He's had a fantastic campaign. Left back, you got Zinchenko. I mean, in terms of Ake has had a really good season, to be fair, for Man City as well. Zinchenko, Ake. It's going to be between them. Partey, Rodri. It's going to be between them. Potentially, this is Palhinha, Fulham. He's had a very, very good season. You could argue Palhinha might be in that team of the season. And then in midfield, Granit Xhaka, De Bruyne, Ødegaard. Trying to think of other midfielders that have had a great campaign elsewhere. It's tough to think off the top of your head who even exists these days, isn't it, in other teams? Because we're so focused on Arsenal. Martinez is a goalkeeper. You're right, John, has been a very good one as well. I really don't know. Did I say Tierney? I meant Trippier. But a right man this morning, aren't I? It's one of those brain fart days. I always mess up Kieran Tierney and Kieran Trippier. But yeah, midfielders wise, it's hard thinking down the league of who on earth is going to be involved in that area as well. And up front, I mean, it's got to be Erling Haaland, of course. Bukayo Saka and Martinelli, though, surely have to be the two wide players around Haaland. I can't think of anyone else you would put over those guys. Rashford, I guess, comes into it. But, Saka's stats over Rashford have been great. I suppose he'll probably beat out Martinelli to that left-hand side slot. So it'll probably Haaland, Saka, Rashford as the front three in the end. Maximir says, hey, Tom, what's your view on Flo Balogun going to the US and his chances of joining the USA team? He certainly wasn't expecting a call-up. He certainly was expecting a call-up and doesn't want to become another Fikayo Tomori. No, he doesn't. You're right. He doesn't want to become another Tomori. And I think until Gareth Southgate moves on, there's going to be a lot of England players that unfortunately miss out on their chances of getting those call-ups because it's ridiculous that players like Harry Maguire continues to get a place over someone as good as Fikayo Tomori, who's basically been ignored at this rate. I think it's still a bit too early for Balogun to make a choice. I think he can still be pretty chill, play for the under-21s if he's fit. Of course, apparently he was injured. He pulled out of the under-21s with an injury. He's had talks with the US men's national team over this break. He can really kind of pause on this. I don't think he has to rush into anything right now. And I think he'll probably wait until closer maybe to the World Cup and see if he's got an opportunity with England by that point as well. Scrolling up into the chat box. What are we saying? Matt G said, I just told the missus that someone's getting a I love Matt G tattoo. She's confused and concerned, as anyone I think would be, Matt. As anyone I think would be. Chris says, would you rather see Arsenal go for a striker and use GJ9 as competition for Saka or sign a right wing in the summer? I'm actually starting to lean more towards a striker. I feel as though Trossard adds so much coverage to our forward line. And Jesus can play, as you say, in that right wing area. I actually lean more towards a forward, especially if Balogun, moves on in the summer. And I really like this Højlund guy. I really like him as a profile. I'd be surprised if we signed him. But, I think that would be a really interesting move by Arsenal to sign someone of a different kind of style, an alternative forward, just to see what it would do to the team. So, yeah, I would be very open more so, I think, now to a striker potentially coming in. William Saliba, top of the league, says, TC, if you were ever to get into a brawl, which international team would you call for reinforcements? I think it would be the Netherlands, the likes of Van Dijk, Weghorst, De Ligt, Wijnaldum. What do you say? I've never, ever, ever been asked a question like that. Who would I want if I was coming out of if I was just walking out of a stadium for some reason, a brawl was going on, and suddenly people were running towards me and I had to defend myself? Who do I want to back me up? Netherlands is a big, big shout. Argentina have got some pretty crazy heads, to be fair, in their squad. The Netherlands Argentina game was pretty crazy. Who else is there out there? I suppose people are already going to start throwing in suggestions. Iceland, Matt G, great. Oh, you got some massive, strong guys in Iceland to back you up in that sense. Ukraine, the Ukrainians, Rich, yes, again, great example of a team with great resilience. Serbia, you have Vlahovic and Mitrovic. You have Vlahovic and Mitrovic either side of you. I think you'll be fine. I think you would be fine. What a question. Let's go to scrolling down a little bit more. Ryan says, why is no one talking about City dropping 9 points in the last 10 games over the last 2 seasons? Probably because they just believe, Ryan, that they've always got that capacity to go and just score so many points just on a run, just pick up 10 wins from 10 without batting an eyelid. So it's very difficult. But it's a fair point. 9 points dropped in the last 10 games over the last 2 seasons. If that happens this season, you have to imagine that Arsenal surely would have a great chance at opening up the league table for themselves. Daryl says, I've only just noticed that half the teams in the Premier League are in danger of relegation. Yep, it's a very, very mad season in terms of that relegation scrap. No easy games, that's for sure, between now and the end of the campaign. Vala says, I am insane for thinking that we could use Jesus as a cam or centre forward and Eddie up top. You are a bit insane. I wouldn't use Jesus as a centre forward. I would use him as centre forward. I wouldn't use him as an attacking midfielder. So people use the word centre forward so much in a misrepresented way because of FIFA, unfortunately. I think it's the 4-4-1-1 formation, which puts a centre forward behind a striker. It's ridiculous. A centre forward is a striker. I will not have it said any other way. They are the same position. FIFA has tried to change the use of the centre forward as a deeper, sort of false 9 kind of role. It's not. A centre forward is a striker. They are the same position. Let's go to Shane. Says sell, loan, Nketiah or Balogun. Realistically, keeping both isn't optimal, and with Martinelli, Trossard capable of playing there, a really good left wing or a backup right winger would be a transfer plan. I really don't like answering this question about selling or loaning either of Nketiah or Balogun. I want to kind of see both in the summer. I want to see what they give to the team. I want to see Balogun and what he's got about him, and then we'll make a decision. But Shane, I can't answer your question yet, my friend. I'm sorry. Anyway, slightly shorter show today as it is a Saturday. I'm off to do the weekly shop this morning, and I've got to be back to get started with work because, yes, I'm working on a Saturday. But please do drop a like on the video. Really appreciate your time, as always. For those of you tuning in on a Saturday during the international break, it takes an extra level of commitment to do that. So I really do appreciate that. I hope you've enjoyed the new addition to the TGC background. If you do, drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, up the Arsenal.